Good afternoon. I'm Toni Valliere with Verified Investing, and this is Trading the Close. The closing bell just minutes away. So let's take a quick look at where things stand right now after this morning's release of CPI data, which showed inflation eased more than anticipated, and we are seeing the results of that. If we take a look at the S&P 500, up more than 80 points. The Dow at one point was up more than 500 points, also in the green, up more than 400 at this point, and the NASDAQ up more than 300 right now. Let's send it over to Chief Market Strategist Gareth Soloway with a recap of the day. Any surprises today, Gareth?
Yeah, so thank you so much. And today was an amazing day because the markets had already rallied massively over the last 2 weeks, and what we saw was a continued massive move. I mean, like you said, the NASDAQ's up 2.3%, the S&P's up 2%. I mean, these are continued big gains, and the question I have is Jerome Powell happy with this? Because again, remember, the bigger the moves in the market to the upside, the more the wealth effect takes hold. And again, think of that about people with their 401ks. All of a sudden, they have more money. They're thinking, oh, let me go buy that new TV I really wanted, and it can create actually inflation. So I'd be surprised if the Fed is thrilled with this rally, but the CPI data did come in lower than expected. And we can take a look at the charts here, right? So you can see that the S&P, like you mentioned, the Dow was just up over 500. We are coming in just into the close. Take a look here. So this is the S&P 500 intraday 10-minute chart. You can see we started out with a gap up on the back of that good CPI data. We ground higher, and then we basically chopped and a little bit of a move, but we are seeing an end-of-day move to the downside. Very small, still a huge up day, but the kicker is this. People are taking profits because guess what? You had the CPI data today, PPI data tomorrow, and if that number doesn't come in equally as good, you might see a sell-off in the market. So smart money is paring their bets just a little bit.
So you just mentioned the PPI. That's going to be tomorrow. You'll be looking at that. So it could possibly reverse today's gains?
It's possible, and I was thinking about this. I mean, really expectations for inflation coming down to almost zero is now higher than ever. People are really starting to feel like, oh, we've got a handle on this. And so what it does is it makes the market vulnerable to a surprise the other way. And interestingly enough, I'll just go over some other quick charts here for us, but let's take a look at the 10-year yield. Now, again, remember, when inflation comes down, it allows the Fed theoretically to lower interest rates if the economy gets in trouble. So what we're seeing is the market is already doing that for the Fed. You have a big red candle on the 10-year yield, and the level that you're watching here, and this again means there's a little bit more downside before support, but we clearly see this area here around 4.36 as support. Now we're already at 4.34, so there's a little bit more to go, but we're getting to a level where investors should start to expect stabilization in rates, and the markets again want rates to continue to go down, to continue to rally higher. And then the only other thing, look at the dollar today. This is remarkable to see this move on the dollar. You don't get candles like this on the US dollar very often. And a huge down move. It's even piercing the level I had as support that I talked about in the game plan this morning and going below it. We can see it right here. So the markets, again, are euphoric. They're excited. Investors are rejoicing by these gains. But again, it's not over yet, and that's what we're going to see tomorrow.
Exactly. Anything else you want to mention that you're covering tomorrow?
Yeah, so I think we just have to watch these big cap tech names. And again, these are the trillion-dollar companies that are taking the markets higher with them. Today, we have NVIDIA. Look at this move. I mean, this is just, this blows my mind when I see it because it's such a huge move to the upside. If we look at where we were about 2.5 weeks ago, a trillion-dollar company has rallied now 27%. That's, again, about $250+ billion in created wealth just on this name. You throw in Apple, you throw in Microsoft and these other names, and it's almost like the Fed is printing money again, but it's actually coming from the stock market. So again, people just have to be careful. I don't want people to get emotional and chase a market like this because this isn't healthy. This is not normal here. Let it pull back and reevaluate.
If they want to know how to navigate all of this, they can catch you tomorrow. Gareth, thank you very much. You can watch him navigate the charts in real time every weekday morning at 9 a.m. with the game plan. And we are also featuring a new show. It's called The Bottom Line with Benjamin Poole and Paul Sampson, where you can get their unique perspectives on the latest trends with crypto and the stock market. The Bottom Line airs right after this. For Trading the Close, I'm Toni Valliere. Have a great day.